You have learned how to speak with more presence, more power, and more clarity. But how do you actually integrate it all? How do you take what you've learned and turn it into how you speak every day? Hi, I'm Lisa Lacroix. I'm your communication muse, and I help entrepreneurs, executives, creative people, and thoughtful humans like you master your voice, your presence, and your impact in business and in love. This video is part of my Magnetic Speaking Skills series, and if you have followed the journey all along, thank you. If this is your first stop, welcome, and make sure to check out the playlist. It'll be in the notes below, so you can go back, you can catch the full arc. In today's video, we will revisit the core of each of the past 9 sessions with a rapid fire mix of reminder plus a micro practice so you could deepen the learning. And you don't need to remember everything. Just feel the shifts. Know that every tiny bit of progress is exactly what is needed. And your body already knows. Your body knows what to do. Session one was about mastering presence, first becoming aware of our own individual speaking power, and then trusting it. It means recognizing that how we naturally come across is the starting point we want. So if you are naturally energetic and enthusiastic, that's where you begin. But if you come across naturally as more relatable and easygoing, then that's your superpower. We also talked about reframing nerves, knowing that the physiological symptoms of nervousness are the exact same as those of excitement. And that if you can put your attention not so much on yourself and how you're doing, but rather on your message and on your audience, you will be so much more relaxed. So here's a little micro set, a little mini practice for you. Take a deep breath. And as you're exhaling, feel your feet on the ground. You can close your eyes and silently ask, what makes me magnetic when I speak? Or what would my friends say if they were describing me? And know that the awareness of that superpower and continuously being better at accessing it, trusting it, and using it is your beginning point as a communicator, as a magnetic speaker. If you want more information about that, I'll put that link here. In session two, we talked about the art of connection and how we can use our own breath, sound to connect with ourselves and feel our movement naturally. And that in connecting with other people, there's a powerful part of our brain called mirror neurons, where we link up synergistically with someone we see talking, or to help the people who are listening to us experience the moment, the feeling, the meaning of what we're sharing. And we talked about how there's a deep practice of being present when listening that allows the other person to be their best in your presence. So the mini reset for session two, the art of connection, is to inhale deeply and exhale, this time with sound. It might sound like this. Ha. And as you do so, soften your face and gently look around the room to connect with the space you're in. Or as you exhale into the camera, seeing someone in the Zoom room or a person you can imagine on the other side of the camera, or your own reflection looking back at you if you're looking at yourself. And let yourself feel that connection, because that's the starting point for making a difference with your words. In session three, commanding space, we talked about how we can use our virtual presence, whether on camera or a physical presence if we're in person, how we can ground ourselves in the space, in our body language, and get more comfortable using our hands and the movement in our spine, as well as our facial expression and the space that we're inhabiting, to be more dynamic, to keep people's attention more effectively, and to use the movement that we have access to ground the message. So, for example, if we want to talk about this particular subject, we can do it in one place. And then we want to change subjects, we can do it here. So we can use our embodiment, our body language, and the physical space to guide our listener through the message that we're sharing. It also helps us organize our brain if we say, I'm talking about this thing here, and now I'm talking about this other thing here. It's so much easier for us and for our audience to follow subconsciously. So, a mini reset or a little mini practice is the next time you find yourself speaking to a friend, see if you can push outside of your comfort zone and use a little more physical expression in ways that might feel unnatural and uncomfortable, but that will get you more accustomed to expanding the way you're communicating. You can also do some physical exercises with your mouth and your face to, again, break through your habitual pattern, which is often very still. Most people are very much talking heads and they don't move much or move their face much. Some people don't even move their lips much. So you can do some exercises in advance, even just a little, I know it looks funny, but it can be a way to start breaking through some of the masky stillness and to expand the range of body movement and facial expression that you have access to. If you want more information about the commanding space session 3 video, I'll put it here. In session 4, full spectrum speaking, we talked about increasing the dynamic range on the scale of volume from very quiet to loud and present and energetic, and using pacing from very fast, because sometimes we can speak very quickly, and sometimes we want to be very particular with our pacing. We talked about using tone. That means how we rise and fall and the emotions that we can put into the tone of our voice. We talked about speaking with intention, even having the thought, I want you to understand what I'm saying as a subtext, can help you broaden the dynamic range of your speaking and come more towards full spectrum. We talked about changing all of these energies as a way to break through speaking in a very monotonous or monotone way, whether that's very fast or very slow. So, a mini reset or a little mini practice you can take on is to say the word this matters and try saying it flat. This matters. Just the information, just the words. This matters. And then try saying it different ways. Again, varying your pace. You could say, this matters. This really matters. Or you might want to drop your tone at the end a little more fully. This matters. Add a little bit of warmth or clarity and see what kind of range you can have access to. Feel the contrast. And session 4 is right here. Session 5 was about speaking with power and clarity. We talked about how so many of us have power leaks in the form of upspeak. That's when you finish a sentence like a question. You never really sound like you're finishing or like you are sure what you're saying. Or filler words when we say, like, so often that we lose the essence and the clarity of our message. Or when we speak in glottal fry, which is not putting any air behind our voice. It sounds kind of scratchy and gravelly like that. And some people like it, but glottal fry is a version of a power leak where you are not coming across with as much power as you can if you fill your voice with air and send it directly to your audience. In session 5, Speaking with Power and Clarity, we talked about how landing the period and finishing your thought on a strong downbeat that communicates this thought is done can be super powerful, and how when we hold eye contact with our audience at the end, we make it even more clear that we are finished. So here's a mini reset for you, a little mini exercise. Say, I know what I'm talking about. And then trail off. I know what I'm talking about. Uh, yeah, I do. Or say it again with strength and power and clarity. Land the period. I know what I am talking about. Hold someone's gaze when you finish your thought. And I'm going to give that to you as a perfect little challenge. When you make a point, finish the thought completely and confidently, and hold the person you're speaking with eye contact for at least 1 to 3 seconds. See how that feels and let me know. Session 5 is here if you want to see the whole video. In session 6, we talked about speaking with precision and power and purpose. And the tools that I offered in that video are say it once. So many of us have a message and we'll say it one way and then we'll think we didn't get it across, so we'll say it slightly differently and then we might even try it another way. No, get clear on what the message is, say it, land the period, and finish. Take all of the noise, all of the extras out, the extra ideas, the examples, the caveats out. Say the point clearly and trust that that is enough. You're going to feel like there's twice as much you need to say, but trust your 50% as enough. The practice for you is say one sentence and then stop. Let it land and resist the urge to fill the silence. Session 6, speaking with precision, power, and purpose, is here. And then in session 7 is all about silence and pacing and how we can create more dynamics in how we speak when we get comfortable using pause so that we can alter the rhythm and the pacing of our message by breaking it into small chunks and delivering that one chunk, taking a pause, and then bringing the next piece. Again, I'm exaggerating it a little bit to show you what I mean. But think of music as a guide for how you might speak. Think of the tempo, the phrasing, and the intentional pauses or rests that shape the emotional experience for your audience. If you want to think about how to do this, a little mini reset or exercise is to listen to someone else speaking and see if you can play back how they're speaking in da 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 da. So if someone is speaking and not stopping and always speaking monotone, if you were to play it back as your little mini exercise, you might be da 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 da. Whereas someone who is more effective at using silence and using varied pacing might sound more like da 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 da. And then try adding a 3-second pause. This will give you so much more access to a dynamic range of pacing that's more like music. Session 7 is here. And then in session 8, we talked about dealing with freeze, what to do when you are in the middle of a sentence while you're speaking and suddenly realize you're not sure what you're doing. And you start talking again only to realize that you've lost your train of thought or you're not sure why you're sharing this story. So in session 8, we talk about ways you can explore tools you can use, frameworks you can access when the pressure is on and your clarity disappears. 3 powerful tools we talk about that will help you stay more calm is the 3-point rule, to focus your message around 3 points, the 3 most important things, or the first thing, the second thing, and the third thing, or a new one that I'm going to do a new video about. I haven't done it yet, but it's a frame that we're going to call the yes, no, yes frame, meaning here's the orientation of what we're all about. No, here's a boundary and what we don't want to do, and something ending on the positive again, kind of like a positive sandwich. So I haven't talked about that one yet, but that's another example of communicating in threes. The next thing is to take one breath for one thought. Saying the thought on the one breath and finishing 100%. Then another breath. And then there's a second thought that you can say on the second breath. One breath, one thought. And then using subtext, knowing that there is something we're thinking underneath the words that can be a positive impact for creating connection. So the subtext could be, it could be, I want to connect with you, or I want you to understand this. So even though I'm talking right now about something completely irrelevant, if the subtext is, I want you to understand this, the energy I'm communicating with is going to be really quite different. So a little mini reset or mini exercise for you to do is to play with subtext, to have one thought, hopefully a positive thought. And the thought might be something like, I want to connect with you. as you're sharing other information that has nothing to do with the text. I want to connect with you. See how that lands and let me know in the comments what this experience is like dealing with subtext. And if you want more information, because that's pretty fast, let me know too, and I'll try to do another video that expands on it. You can also watch session 8, Dealing with Freeze, where I go into it in a little more detail. And then finally, in session 9, we talk about adaptive communication and storytelling. This is 3 frameworks that will help you to communicate in the moment and to respond to the people who are present and how they're being with you. So the if then framework has you consider what kind of energy you're getting from people and then making a decision in terms of how to respond to them. So if they're low energy, you might want to wake them up a bit, or if they're feeling resistant, you might want to apply warmth. If this, then that. The second framework for adapting your communication is a storytelling technique I call spark, shift, share. And that means you tell a story with the circumstance as the spark, what's happening, what changed the shift, and then the share, how that impacts the people who are listening. And that's a framework you can use that can make telling a story much more easy to follow and more clear and easy to remember. The third framework is energy matching and leading. And that means noticing what kind of energy, coming to match it where the people are, and then deciding if you want to stay with them and stay connected with them, or you want to take them along in a different direction. So, mini reset for you. I'm going to say try the spark, shift, share story as an example. Think of something you might want to share in one of your speaking situations, or even just to a friend, and see if you can make that story very brief and very concentrated, very concise by identifying the circumstance, the thing that happened that changed things, and why they should care about it. So I've given you all of the sessions that we've done together. They're all linked below in the comments. You don't need to remember every tool. You don't even need to master all of them. Just practice 1 or 2 of them and see which ones can make a difference. I would love to hear what your experience is with this. And you can also go back and watch all of the videos. They are linked together in my YouTube channel, starting with session 1. And they're all between 8 and 12 minutes. So you can watch the entire series in a pretty short amount of time. And I'm pretty certain that you will see some impact and some change and some growth in your communication skills. But if you want to go deeper, you can join my Share Well sessions, which are beginning again this month and will go until July. Or you can sign up for my custom one-on-one bespoke communication skills training. I have 5 versions of it. One for social media. If you want to get more on social media, you want to do more reels, create more reels. I have an amazing offering right now that's on super special because I want to do it with 4 beta testers, where it's a done with you program where you go through my bespoke social media skills training. And at the end of it, you not only get skills, but you end up with between 8 and 10 reels that you can use for your own learning and feedback, or you can post directly to your social media. There's also bespoke for business, bespoke for love and relationship, bespoke for interviewing, and bespoke for podcasting. So you want information on all those programs, look in the show notes. And if you've gotten any value from this series, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who wants to improve their communication skills and become a more magnetic speaker. Remember, your message matters. Please share it, make it land, change the world, and I'll see you soon.